You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Well, let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 20th day of January, 2021. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you can't see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds. That will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. Even if you're listening to this broadcast after the fact, you can still go right now to our homepage, CFRN.net, click the microphone, do the registration, and what will happen is each and every time we go live, you'll get an email right before we go live. And in that email, there will be a link that you click to join without having to register. That also gives you access to the chat box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. On the days you're out of your office, away from your desktop, just point any internet-connected browser to cfrn.net/live, There you'll find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds. You just won't have access to the chat box. You can also join us by going to youtube.com/CFRN. We stream live there every day. We also have archived over 1,600 daily live broadcasts. youtube.com/CFRN. Okay. Well, we all just watched the inauguration of our new president. And I know for many Americans this is a troubling day. We've become a country divided. Today many celebrate. Today many are discouraged. I have to remind you, I have to encourage you. Put your faith in God. He has this. I fear that over the last 4 years, too many of us have put our faith in a man. And this may just be God's way of reminding us that our faith needs to be in Him, the Almighty, the Creator of the universe, not any man. And so, with the inauguration done, let us pray for our new president, Joseph R. Biden, Jr. Heavenly Father, our president carries an enormous burden. The decisions made by the President of the United States affects the lives of people not just in our nation, but all over the world. And he especially needs your touch to lead. Strengthen him, God. Give him wisdom and grace. Let him speak and act with honesty and integrity in all situations. Give him a glimpse of how much you love him and how much you love the world you created. Draw him to you into an ever closer relationship with you. Anoint him with your Holy Spirit. Speak to him in the quiet moments as well as amid the chaos. Speak to his heart and make him true to his word to be a servant leader. We pray also, God, that you would bring strong, wise, and spiritually mature people to surround him. Speak truth to him through the voices of those he trusts. Give him wisdom to reject the voices of those who would urge him to seek only personal power and glory. Let him know deep in his soul that only with and through you is the victory truly won. Only through your power, God, is our country and our world made whole. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, I won't say happy Wednesday. How about it's Wednesday, all right? Let's do this thing. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. These are the cash markets, the indices. As they're called, let me bring in some fresh data. Starting here in the U.S., the Dow's up 197 points. NASDAQ up 224. S&P 500 up 44. The Russell 2000 up 8. The NASDAQ is up almost 2%. S&P 500 up a little over 1%. In the commodity basket, crude oil is up 39 cents, trading 53.37 last. Gold up $25.80, trading 18.66. For gold, that's a gain of almost 120. That's a gain on the Hang Seng of a little over 1%. In the European markets at the close, FTSE up 27, DAX up 106, and the CAC up 29. That gives us a mixed day in Asia, green day in the UK, and so far it is a big green Radio Wednesday here in the US of A. With that, let's go to Michael and get a recap of everything that happened this morning in the live training room. And a reminder, David Grant of the Golden Journey will be joining us today at 1 p.m. Eastern, as he did last Wednesday. So we look forward to that. Michael, I see your screen. I see your charts.
Okay.
You're locked and
All
loaded.
right.
You can take it away.
Okay. I am just about ready. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. There you go, guys. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 20th day of January, 2021. Yeah, I'll just go with that. 1/20/21. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. We had a really good day today. I'll do gold last this morning because that was the one that we got the most opportunity in. But on crude, we made 6 ticks. In gold, we made 92. And on the ES, we made 8. That put us up $1,080 per contract this morning in our 2-hour time frame. Today, it took 28 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. That were up $100 a contract. And we took a total of 21 trades this morning. On the month now, we're $7,657. That's 1 contract, 2 hours a day. And I missed half the trades, as you'll see when I go through it. I didn't miss too many in gold today, though. But that's over 12 trading days, averaging $638 per contract per 2-hour trading day. I've now gone 225 consecutive business days of getting my goal for the day. And on the year, we're only on our 12th day of the year, but all 12, I've gotten my goal. So the yearly stuff and the monthly stuff is the same. So on the year now, we're at 76.57. That's over 12 trading days, averaging $638 per contract per 2-hour trading day. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go to the homepage here at CFRN.net. Right down here, it says free 5-day trial, no credit card required. Click on that and bring you to eminitrainingschool.com. You can go directly to this page if you want, www.eminitrainingschool.com. Go there, and all you have to do is scroll down and fill out this little form. All we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. You can tell us the biggest trading challenge, so we can tailor one-on-one training just for you, which we really do. Do that and hit the send button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that link, we don't know you that took the free trial. Okay, so you got to click on that link. All right, so let's get in here with the ES. We'll start out with that one. I had the fewest trades on ES. Let's scroll back to the beginning. Now, right here was our first trade on the ES, and I was afraid once it got into the weekly trading zone like yesterday, it was just going to stick there, and it did for half an hour. But we had to break even on our first trade, then we got into the zone. We didn't have any trade setups. I missed one right here that would have been a nice trade to have, but I missed it. And then down here in the slingshot, it just was not letting us take a trade. So I waited, and then over here we had another opportunity. I picked up 8 ticks on that, and then I had a break even right here. There was a nice trade right here that I missed right toward the end of the session, and another one right here that would have been a break even trade. Then we get into the break, and there was one trade set up right here. There was a momentum long trade right there that would have been profitable. And that was it on the ES today. We ended up with +8 on the ES. Now let's go back here to crude. We had a few trades on crude today. We started out right here, our first trade on crude. Let's see, we picked up 12 ticks on that one. All right, then we picked up something right here. I didn't log that. Yeah, I didn't log that. It looks like we picked up a couple of ticks there that I didn't log. Then we stopped out here. That put us back down to +4 on crude. Then we picked up a couple of ticks here to put us back at +6. And we had a break even. During the break, there was a bounce off the BBC. Right here, it was also a YBR short trade. It should have put in a lower swing. It took forever for it to go down, and it still hasn't put in the lower swing. So crude's pretty choppy right now. There was an opportunity to take some profit from this bounce off the BBC right here, but there was no trade following that. Okay, now gold. Now, if I'd have been able to trade a little bit into the break, I'd have reached what I was trying to do this morning. You know, once the trades just started kicking off, and I mean, they're happening pretty fast with the gold this morning. But it started out right in here. Now, we didn't have any trade setups in here because it just wasn't setting up in the slingshot. Then finally over here, there was an opportunity to go long. I missed that opportunity. It was right here, long to the upside. There was another follow-up one right here to the upside. Either one of those would have helped me get what I was trying to do today. I was trying to actually make $1,000 with just one contract in gold. and I got up to $920 twice. And yeah, I was so close. But anyway, our first trade here on gold, we picked up 10 ticks on that one. The next trade, we picked up 12 to put us at plus 22. Now I missed that one and I missed that one. Either one of those would have gotten us to that goal that I had for myself. But anyway, after this one, we're in here. We picked up 8 more ticks to put us at plus. We picked up 12 ticks there to put us at plus. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We picked up 22 ticks there to put us at plus 68. 10 ticks there to put us at plus 78. I missed that one, which would have been a profitable trade. So after this, we're at plus 78. Then another 10 ticks to put us at plus 88. Then it got a little bit choppy, but I was saying, I'm going to start taking smaller amounts because of the choppiness that was happening. So right here, I picked up 4 ticks, put us at plus 92. Then I stopped out, put us back down to plus 84. Then I picked up a couple of ticks here, put us back at plus 86. Then I picked up another 6 ticks right there to put us at plus 92. And I had a break even there and a break even there, and that's why we ended the morning session. See, it got pretty choppy in here, and there weren't really any good opportunities because of the way the slingshot was acting. But if I had traded a little further into the break, there was an opportunity right there. There was an opportunity right there. There's a break-even opportunity right here, and that was it. So we're plus 92 on gold this morning, but you saw those nice ones that I missed, right? There's one there, one here, one here, one there, and one there, and yeah, that was enough. Any one of those would have gotten us to that goal for the day for me, but either way, the day's not over. All right, so let's go back here. If you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. Right down here, it says free 5-day trial, no credit card required. Click on that and be brought to this page, eminitrainingschool.com. On this page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. And you can tell us the biggest training challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training just for you. Hit the send button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, we don't know that you took the free trial until you click that link. And here is the spreadsheet. Those of you who don't know, this spreadsheet goes back to January 2nd of 2013. It's got our daily results. Well, every day that I traded. There were some days in there that I couldn't trade, that I had to take a day off for reasons that I'd really rather not discuss. But anyway, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today's the 20th day of January, 2021. We made 6 ticks in crude, 92 ticks in gold, and 8 ticks on the ES. Put us at plus $1,080 on the morning session. And today it took 28 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 21 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're up $7,657. That's over 12 trading days, averaging 6,300 and I'm sorry, averaging $638 per contract per 2-hour trading day. I've now gone 225 consecutive days of getting my goal. That's consecutive business days. Valentine's Day last year was the last time I had a down day, and I didn't get my goal. We've now gone 12 consecutive days this year because we're only on our 12th day of the year of getting my goal. And so the annual stuff so far this year is $76.57. with a daily average of $638 per contract per 2-hour trading day. And as you saw, I missed a bunch of the trades. Okay, and with that, $38, we can pass this all back out per 2-hour trade. Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
Let me just grab the screen.
Okay. I can see your screen.
There we go. Alrighty. Recap of the recap.
Today it took 28 minutes and 2 trades to get to $100 per contract.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okie doke. Alright guys, let's just jump straight to a daily chart. We're going to go over the Concierge Trade Alerts. We'll go over the Logic 247 alerts. And there's the recap. So let me grab that. And we'll touch on that first, and then we'll go to the daily chart. Let me just paste this in, fix it up so that it displays properly. We've had a total of 29 alerts. I've never triggered. Had 3 stop outs so far, which is 13%. Okay, there we go. Now got it. Thank you, Valerie. All right. We are in week number 129 of Logic 247. That is our around-the-clock, 24/7 Emini alert service. In the mornings, Michael teaches you our underlying strategy and methodology. We use the same method across all markets, all time frames. Everything we teach is fluid across all markets and all time frames. So as he teaches you the strategy in the Telegram alert channel, I'm constantly feeding you around the clock alerts on the S&P, the Dow, Russell, NQ, gold, silver, so that you can take what you learned and actually put it into practice in the simulator, in your demo account. We want you to put together 10 consecutive days in a row with our strategy before you even think about going live. So as Michael's teaching you each day, I'm providing you with living, breathing opportunities in the market to practice what you've learned, with the goal being that eventually you'll learn to spot these same opportunities yourself. So since Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, that's when we start each week, we've had a total of 29 alerts, 5 never triggered, 24 actionable, 3 stopped out, that's 13%. On a typical week, we'll see 20% get stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible, using market structure and a very simple 3-step methodology that I teach all of our traders. So with that, let's go to that daily chart of the S&P, and here it is in all its glory. We have a new all-time historic intraday high, 38.38.5. The previous all-time historic intraday and closing high was on January the 8th. The intraday high was 38.24.5. The closing high, 38.22. Unless something dastardly were to happen, we already have an new all-time intraday high, and I'm assuming we'll have an all-time closing high as well. Price would have to really sell off in order to not do that. So what's next? Overhead, we've got the 78% Fibonacci price extension. Starting with the 24% Fibonacci price extension, which we arrived at by looking at the last leg up, connecting the swing low to the swing high to the retracement low. The 24% acted as good resistance for a number of sessions. The 38% extension doing the same, again on the 50. The 62 on the second session, we were able to overcome that. We're now above the 62, and overhead we've got the 78, which is at a price of 38.78. This week's highest weekly trading zone is 38.98/38.99. Now, because we have a new high in place, the Fibonacci price retracement, the extension, those prices won't change. But because we have a new high, we've got to move that up. Make sure we're still in position down here. And we are. Okay. So, and as we move, if we move higher today, no reason to think we won't. We're at the high of the session and climbing. So at the end of today's session, we'll adjust this again. Currently, with what I just did, the 24% Fibonacci price retracement, and most people are more familiar with the retracements than the price extensions. We use retracements more than we use price extensions. Only certain market conditions really call for the extensions. So we've got 36.92 as the 24% Fibonacci price retracement. Now that's based on us not going any higher at all today. If we trade higher tomorrow, it will get adjusted again. So that 24% retracement will keep inching up until the market does put in a top. Here is the previous all-time historic high, and from that all-time historic high we came back down to the BBC. That's this green line. It stands for bull bear cross. When price is above it, we're bullish. We anticipate higher prices, and when price gets below it, like you see here, we're bearish. We anticipate lower prices until it gets back above it. We've been above the BBC since November the 4th. We've spiked below it a couple of sessions, 1, 2, 3, 4, but we haven't closed below it since November the 3rd. Let me refresh this chart. There we go. So wherever the market finds its next top, this is what we'll expect, just like we saw here, and here, and here. Price always comes home. Price always reverts to the mean. And for us, the mean happens to be green, and again we call that the BBC. So when you hear us use that term, it's no secret, it's just bull bear cross. Price is above it, bullish; below it, bearish. We're above it. When price can go no higher, just like on this day, when we put in the intraday high at 38.24 and a half, the reason we didn't go any higher was because no one was willing to pay 38.24.75. And so this rally will find that point, that price, where no one's currently in that moment in time willing to pay more. The retracement will begin. We could get a shallow retracement back to blue and climbing. A deeper retracement will take us to the BBC. And then the shallowest possible Fibonacci retracement, based on today's new high, will be right here at 36.92. So with that, let's jump over to the 30-minute chart. We always start with a daily chart because that enables us to see any obstacles in our path. If you missed yesterday's show, I went into detail and showed you how we could see obstacles overhead on the daily that we could not see on the smaller time frame, the 30-minute. And when price got there, as you see here, that led us to the retracement. It took us back to the BBC. Now, you just saw how those pullbacks work on the daily. Same thing on the 30-minute. Same thing on a 5-minute. Everything we do is fluid across all markets, all time frames. The pullback to the BBC holds more often than it doesn't. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holding. Here's one that didn't. This was more of a head fake than anything else. It looked like the market was ready to sell off, but we had just hit our first Logic 247 alert for the week right here. Sunday night. Here's the Sunday night open. We had a Logic 247 alert to be long 37.73. We had an initial target at 75. Then we had a second target. Then we had a final target. We have a current weekly trading zone at 37.80/81. The blue line you see here, 86.5. That's from last week. I'll go ahead and pull that off. Now, overhead, 38.07. That's also a weekly trading zone from last week. And even though it's from last week, you see what happened as price rallied up. It served as good resistance. Whenever price approaches a weekly trading zone from below, we expect it to be good resistance. And when price drops to a weekly zone like it did here at 37.80, we expect that to be good support until proven otherwise. So we've climbed above 38.07 after some initial resistance. Only three things happen at a weekly zone. The most likely thing is consolidation. Second most likely thing is rejection. And then the third and least likely is the slice. That's when price slices through it like it's not even there. As we go through the charts and I come across an example of the slice, I'll point it out. This is a slice, but we already had consolidated at the zone. So if I see a better example, I'll show you. We just took out a weekly zone from last week at 38.36/37. This week we've got one more zone overhead and it's way up at 98/99. Last week we had a zone at 38.53. And then last week's highest zone was at 39.32, which is above this week's highest zone. So I don't expect us to trade, or we don't expect us to close the week above 38.98. We may not make it to 38.98. The highest zone and the lowest zone, it's not a call for price to actually trade to that price. It just identifies for our traders areas that we don't expect the market to close above or below for the week. It's not unusual on a Friday at the close to see price closing right at a weekly trading zone. It might not be the highest, it might not be the lowest, but the zones represent important prices, important areas, and for our traders, it gives them a snapshot at the beginning of the week before Wall Street even opens of the fixed areas of support and resistance. We've published the zones since December 14th of 2009, so over a decade now, and they've served us very, very well. We have another type of alert. It's called the Concierge Trade Alert. That was our first alert service. That differs in that it's a static report that comes out shortly after the Globex Open. Globex opens at 6 p.m. Eastern. Last night I got them out at 6:25 p.m. Eastern. You'll see that there's two numbers for each market we cover. 38.02 on the long side, 37.83 on the short side. This is forward guidance for the entire session. So if you want to grab a quick snapshot, screenshot, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go look at them. So on the S&P, the number last night was 38.02. Now the market opened for trading for the Wednesday session begins Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. And here it was. Okay, this candle right here. And the number we're looking at is 38.02. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Not unusual for price to walk right up to a CTA and do this. Pull back. Sometimes it takes a couple of attempts to get through that important price, important area. The idea is that on the way to 38.02, if the market is heading towards the long side versus the short side, you want to be long on the way up and or long at 38.02 and or only looking for long trades above that number, 38.02. So we punched through last night, put in a high at 38.03 and a half, 38.0375. When price cannot get through an area, it will retrace back to the BBC. Just what you see here. As price bounced off the BBC, it ran into red and falling. You'll typically only see two indicators on my chart. Well, there's three. We already talked about the BBC. This red and blue line, the technical term is CFMA1. I refer to it as blue and climbing, red and falling. Blue and climbing represents bullishness or support. Red and falling, bearishness, resistance. So as price bounced off the BBC, it ran into resistance at red and falling, which pushed it back down to the BBC. Price then gets pinched up between the two, and price has to make a decision. The decision came here, confirmed here, and this began the move up from 37.97 right up to 38.02. One more pullback into blue and climbing, and then there was rejection at last week's zone, so we put in a high there at 38.07 and a quarter. It's 5 1/4 points, and then another trigger which took us up to the same area, 38.07. This one took us to 38.08 and a quarter, so that's 6 1/4 points. That's what the market made available. And on this pullback, we didn't quite get below the trigger. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 triggers off of the one alert. Now, I'll just do this on the S&P, but what you're watching for, along with your CTAs, which are forward guidance for the entire session. Let me scroll back. Here we go. So in the Logic 247 channel, we had an S&P long at 37.98 with an initial target at 3800. Potential resistance at 38.07. Here's your potential resistance at 38.07, and again, the third time we made it through. The final trade to target was this week's weekly trading zone overhead, 38.15/16. So price went from 37.98 to 38.15. That's 15, 16, that's 17 points at $50 a point. On the Logic 247, when you see this number in brackets here, that was the current swing high at the time the recap was done. So again, B is buy, T is initial target. On a long trade, the second target will be labeled potential resistance. And if there's a third and fourth target, those will also say potential resistance. The final trade to target on every long trade is the weekly zone overhead, and on a short, it's the weekly zone below. So we had this trade on the S&P, this one on the NQ, this one on the Russell, this was crude oil, this was silver. This one here, I guess we're waiting on, or we just haven't recapped it yet. Here's gold, natural gas, and now we're back to the S&P, 38.22, this was this morning, to 38.24, to the highest weekly zone at 38.98. So from 38.22, that alert came out this morning. This is Mountain Standard Time that you see on my screen. Telegram, the messaging client that we use for the alerts, reads the clock on your computer. So when you install Telegram, if you're on the East Coast, Telegram will reflect whatever time zone you're in, East Coast, West Coast, or Mountain Standard. So from 38.22 to 38.24, and we're currently at 38.40. So almost 20 points from the alert this morning, which was right here, 38.22. This was a logic alert. Initial target, 38.24. And beyond that, we have last week's zone, and then the final trade to target. We still got quite a ways to go, 38.98. Okay, so this has been so far a $1,000 per contract move with no exit signal. An exit signal is, you'll notice this little black line here, I haven't talked about it, that's called the step line. When a long trade triggers, if it's going to be an extended move, typically you'll see the step line on the left side of blue and climbing. As this move starts to run out of steam, what will happen? The step line, it steps over, steps up, steps over, steps up, steps over, steps up it. When this thing runs out of steam, it's going to step over, step over. Then you'll have a situation where price starts to walk sideways, and this step line, instead of being on the left side of blue and climbing, it's going to be on the right side. Once that happens, what you're looking for is the first red candle, because this is a long trade. You'll be looking for the first red candle that closes below the step line after it has crossed over. And that's where we stand right now on the S&P. We also had this morning an alert on the Dow, the Russell, NQ, and gold. Okay, those were all from this morning. Now let's take a look. We'll go back to the CTAs. Remember, that's your forward guidance for the entire session. Here's the Dow. And last night's Concierge Trade Alert for the Dow was to be long 30,905. And from 30,905, we put in an initial swing high of 913. Price was not ready to make that run yet. Always be very cautious with your CTAs, because this is what's going to determine, do we truly have a bullish session on our hands, or do we have a bearish session, whichever direction price moves. Everything that happens between the two lines that you draw in the sand, that's the market making up its mind what it's going to do. So price tries again to make the run here, again here. On this one, we get a swing high up at 924. We come back to the BBC one more time. Remember, I said all markets, all time frames. We don't change indicators when we go to a different market. We don't change our strategy. The only thing that changes is the symbol, and that's it. And so from 30,905, we ran up to 31,070. It's a nice move. Shallow retracement. This retracement brought us not back to the BBC. On a shallow retracement, blue and climbing will often serve as good support. If we put fibs on this, which you don't need to do, it's not a part of our strategy. Just shows you where important prices, important areas are. So from this high, we traded just below the 24% fib retracement. I'm pointing this out because even though fibs put an exact price point on your chart, it's an area. You have to remember it's an area. Because if you're sitting down here at the 38, waiting for price to touch the 38 so that you can get long, you got left at the altar. The train left the station without you. Weekly trading zones are an area. We get accustomed to price turning on a dime quite often at a weekly trading zone. But there are other times it'll come within a point, 2 points, and turn. So if you're in a long trade and the final trade 2 target is the weekly zone overhead, and if you don't take profit as you're approaching that zone, you may not have an opportunity to take profit because price can turn before it gets there. It can also spike it, and the least likely thing is that it can just rip right through it like it's not even there. When that happens, the slice, typically when the move runs out of steam, price will retrace right back to the zone that is sliced through, consolidate, and then continue in the direction of the slice. That dynamic allows you to put together a really high probability, low risk trade. And remember, our goal is not just to give you these alerts to trade. Our goal is to teach you to own without any help or interaction from us. In the Telegram channel, we have a discussion group. If you're on the trial, if you've not tied into the discussion group, you're missing the whole spirit of our community. Got a lot of traders in there, and you'll notice, okay, here's Ray saying that he caught that ES trade this morning. Thank you. And what does somebody else say? Good job. So many of these message boards and forums that have to do with trading and investing, they're dark, gloomy, depressing places because people aren't making any money. They've been lied to over and over again. They've blown up account after account. And they become like whining rooms. Everybody's in there just whining. Well, my heart goes out to them. When Michael and I put all of this together, our goal was to create a community where people could come and find support, camaraderie, and most important, actually learn how to trade. Most of the traders who've come to us are traders that spent thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars trying to learn how to trade. Now, along the way, they probably gained a good education about markets and, you know, a lot of the terminology that's used in the world of trading. But where they were failed is nobody ever actually taught them how to trade. So this discussion group is a place for our traders to get to know each other, to make friends, to find support. If you come here on a down day, people are going to encourage you. If you come here on a good day, the other traders are going to applaud you. Okay? It is. Tomorrow may be a tumultuous day on both Main Street and Wall Street. Be careful out there. And so far, it has been a peaceful day on Main Street, and it has been a nice up day on Wall Street. So we share our charts, we share our results, and we have another channel. Sometimes we want to talk about stuff other than trading. Sometimes we just want to shoot the breeze. We got a channel for that. We have a channel for practically everything. We use it for our weekly trading zones. We use it for the alerts. Okay, let's jump to the Russell real quick. David will be joining us here in about 6 minutes at the top of the hour. Let's jump over to the Russell. And let me go back to the CTA channel. The number for the Russell last night was 2154, which is right here. Now, our discussion group, the one I just showed you in Telegram, that's open to the public. Get a hold of Valerie at 949-42-EMINI or send an email to support@cfrn.net. She'll set you up with our free trial, and that will get you access to that public discussion group. Whatever you're trading, however you're trading it, if you just need some people to hang out with who'll encourage you, that's the place you want to be. All right, so the Concierge Trade Alert for the Russell 2154 So far, we've put in a swing high, 2173. So that's roughly 20 points. Russell pays $50 a point. That's $1,000 per contract traded. Let's go to the NQ, which has been on fire, and the NQ is approaching this week's highest weekly trading zone, 13,285/86. Last night's CTA number was 13,060. There's 13,060. So we're up 200 points. NQ pays $20 a point. That move you see right there, that's $4,000 per contract traded. If you've earned the right to trade 2 contracts, it's $8,000. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, it's $40,000. What do I mean by earning the right? When you become a member and start learning our methodology and strategy, we only want you trading in the simulator in your demo account. There's no reason to throw real money at the market, because you'll just blow up another account. We want you to put together 10 consecutive days in a row where you reach your goal as you're learning our strategy before you even think about going live. Once you go live, you only go live with 1 contract. 1. Using 1 contract, we want you to increase your account balance, your real money account balance, by $2,000. Purpose of that is so that you can add a second contract with profit you earned in the market. We have what's called a 24/20 blueprint. It helps you write your business plan. It helps you write your trading plan. Those are 2 things you need, and 90% of traders out there don't have either one. It also will let you know when it's time to add your second contract, your third contract, your fourth contract, your fifth. You should never feel obligated to increase your trade size. If you up your trade size and it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you should back off to the level where you were comfortable. If your goal is just 2 S&P points a day, that's $100. Once you add a second contract, the same 2 points becomes $200. And by the time you've earned the right to trade 5 contracts, the same 2 points is now $500 a day. And at 10 contracts, that actually puts you in the top 3% of wage earners worldwide. Obviously, if it were easy, everybody would do it. Trading is not easy, but it can be simple. It can be this simple. All right. We'll take a look at one more market, and then we'll look in the audience here for David and open up his mic. So we've covered the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, the NQ. Has crude moved today? A little bit. Last night's number on crude was 53.55. Which is right about here. So we've had a number of triggers on crude. The initial move up from 53.55 took us to 53.68. That's $100 per contract traded. We got back below the trigger, second trigger, back below the trigger, third trigger. However, not all triggers are created equal. When you're going long, you want the support of blue and climbing. Once you have red and falling, you don't want to go long there. You want to wait for the market to sort itself out, and we're getting a bearish cross right here, right now, which means we'll start looking for short trades on crude as opposed to longs. Now, I said the pullback to the BBC holds more often than it doesn't, across all markets, all time frames. Held, 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 didn't hold. However, once we got on the south side of the BBC, the first pullback held. See, it has to not hold sometimes, or we would have a stagnant sideways market. Okay, Let me look for David and open up his mic. We haven't covered gold and silver yet, so after we finish talking to David, I will complete the recap, and we will go over those two markets. If you have any questions at all while we're talking with David, please just put them in the chat box. This is a Q&A session. So let me, David, if you'll, well, let me just look in the audience. There you are. Okay, I'm going to open up your mic. Okay, I've opened it from my side. You just need to unmute yourself on your side.
Okay, good day, good day, Dwayne. I think I got in a little quicker today.
Hey, yeah, you did good, right?
Hey, wow.
Welcome to the show. Good to have you with
Great
us.
Great to be here with you and that, and hear how you guys are doing your charting and training on that, because that's not an area that I've developed. I was in Forex trading in that, and using MT4 as my trading model in that. So very, different, but really good to hear how you're doing it as well. We're quite fascinated, actually. So
we've been using the same methodology and the same strategy really since 2008. We haven't changed a line of code in our indicators or a rule to our strategy in well over 8 years. I guess we're closing in probably on 9 years. If it's not broke, leave it alone. And our methodology and strategy, it's not designed to beat the market or to outrun it or outsmart it. Our methodology is unique in that it is designed to help you mirror the market. So in other words, you're not trying to see what others can't see or figure out what the market's going to do next. It helps you see what the market's doing right now so that you can do the same thing, because the market's always right. So we gave up on trying to outfox it long ago. So let me point my presenter tab at you, make you the presenter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. And let me try to remember how I did this last week. I think I did it. There we go. Well, I see your screen.
So you see my screen, and
I got it, yeah.
There we go. Excellent.
And
I used I came across that back quite a while ago. I particularly like that pick because it put the markets humanized the markets for me, but also humanized the emotion of the markets, and rather than how markets work. Well, they work according to human nature, and once you tap into that, human nature is actually a predictable side within the markets as well. And anyway, I've used it effectively. It's I kind of like it because it takes the numbers out and puts the what's actually happening in the markets is it follows human nature really really powerfully in that. So
well, it
anyway.
does. The kind of cycles that we see in the market are, a term from I think the 70s or 80s was biorhythms, where people are trying to chart like their life cycles. And just as everything we do, and as nature, goes from spring to summer to fall to winter, there are very predictable cycles out there in everything. It's part of the fabric of the universe, the tapestry that God wove together way back in Genesis. Now, I see my camera up at the top. I don't know if you want to switch it to yours like it was last week, or I just want to let you know.
I'm not
that
sure.
I don't know how we did that last week.
I think I have my camera on.
You don't have to if you don't want to. Oh, hey,
no, I don't
you
mind
go.
being.
You're looking good.
Yeah.
How's your back?
A couple of years ago, I had a friend trying to get me to come on video, and it was like, no, I don't want to do that. Now it's like, no, okay, that's the world we're living in, and
I thought about doing the cam thing, and I don't know. Some morning, because I do this every day, and I don't. Let me just be transparent. Some days I don't brush my hair, so early on, before I venture outside, I do. But my commute's only about 20 feet.
Sure.
So, David, for those who are wondering who is this guy and why is he here, folks, we're going to talk about the Golden Journey. And I'm going to let David explain to you what the Golden Journey is. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what is cryptocurrency, what is G999, why is G999 different than other cryptocurrencies, and if it is different, then what is this Golden Journey, and what do I need to know about it? So David, take it away.
Okay, well, the G999 is a new coin in the market. It launched officially December the 15th. And in the world of cryptocurrency, there's been thousands, tens of thousands coins that come and go, always trying to find a foothold because everybody has taken note that Bitcoin, it's kind of, Bitcoin, I call it grandpa.
Right.
Where
yeah, it was definitely the first to market, the first to catch everyone's attention, for sure.
Yeah. And then everybody, of course, everybody wants to repeat a Bitcoin play. I get that and having that, but it's also, when you consider in the last decade, we have never had a form of money that was created by the people, for the people, of the people. So that's what cryptocurrency really is. It's just a money that's not issued from the government, but it's us determining its value, us determining how we want to use it, and it's borderless. It's really a good term for it is freedom, where we are taking back control of our money supply. And they're within cryptocurrency. What I really enjoy about it, it is not based on debt. And we're so used to our current currency models are all debt-based models.
And
we're
getting ready to increase that debt by what, $2 trillion? And
Yeah.
Janet Yellen, when she spoke the other day, she's the new incoming Secretary of the Treasury. Her and our new president have both signed off on this $2 trillion package, but she said there has to be another package to follow that. And folks, when you increase the debt, right now we're only able to pay interest on our existing debt. And so we're going to lump $2+ trillion onto that debt. And so if you don't think taxes are going up, well, you need to just study some basic economics, because there's only one way to service the debt, and that's with the taxes of the American people. So please go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, it's a bigger problem than people. That's all part of the educational model that we're looking at. Even like talking about cryptocurrency, and I understand it's like gobbledygook for probably 95% of the population still. Although people are aware of it now. Like 10 years ago, you could have said Bitcoin, and you'd have had a handful of people even know the word. Now everybody at least knows the word Bitcoin. And I was talking with a really, really sharp business guy today. And I said, what do you think of Bitcoin? He says, I don't know. It scares the liver out of me. It looks like a big roller coaster ride for everyone. And I said, do you know anything about it? No, it just scares me. And so that's where he was kind of stuck.
And a scared mind always says no. And that's where a lot of people are coming up against, this barrier. And they really do need a very basic kind of an education. There's a video out there. I'm going to grab the link and I'm going to post it in all of our various places that we post things. The title of it is something along the lines of how to explain Bitcoin to a 5-year-old, or Bitcoin explained by a 5-year-old. Because there's so many unusual terms, and it's just such a difficult concept to wrap your brain around. This video just breaks it down into some simple terms, and I'm going to find that and I'll post it for everyone. But even at the grocery store, there's an app now that you can put on your phone, and this is supposed to come online this year, I think at Albertsons, Safeway. It's already online, but what'll happen is you check out at the grocery store, and let's say your groceries are $19.50. You hand the cashier a $20 bill, and if you so choose, your change will be given back to you in Bitcoin. Obviously, there's no Bitcoin to hand you because it's not a physical thing, but because you've swiped your Albertsons card and you've gone into your and forgive me folks if I'm picking the wrong grocery store, but I think it's Albertsons. If you've set up this profile on the app, on your phone, and you punch in your whatever code you use or swipe your card so that you get the discount coupons with your grocery shopping, it will also give your change back to you. The cashier won't hand you anything, but 50 cents in US coin will be added to your profile in Bitcoin. That's huge. That kind of thing is really taking us to mass adoption. When people look and see that they've, over the last 6 months, they've, made $50 in Bitcoin that they can spend to buy more groceries, that's going to be very meaningful.
It absolutely is going to be, it truly is a game changer for how we think about money and how we handle it. One of the things I like in the crypto space is it's teaching people how to look after their own finances without really needing a bank, if you will. But at the same time, we're still needing a bank system of some kind to know how to make it flow back and forth with each other. This G999 project that we're involved in, this coin coming to market is, how do you launch a coin that has, there's a lot of noise out there about which coin is the best and all of that. Our G99 coin has really come into a space where it's not competing with Bitcoin or Ethereum, which one's the best out there. We have actually are using Bitcoin and Ethereum to come alongside our G999, and that's how you actually get the G999 coin, is through Bitcoin and Ethereum. When that is done, when that G999 is actually purchased through Bitcoin or Ethereum, you get the coins, but you also get rewarded in Bitcoin or Ethereum, similar to what you were talking about at the store. They're giving rewards away for people making purchases. And it happens that our rewards are in the top dogs. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are number 1, number 2. Okay. Mm-hmm. And G999 is the latest technology of a coin. It has to land. I call it a baby coin right now. It's starting out. It's got to get, it's got to learn to crawl and then walk and then really go forward in that. And so we're launching it though, but we're not trying to compete with the big guns out there. We're actually using what's available in the market right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum, to come alongside our coin. So basically people can come in at a very nominal value. We have a package that is that initial package where you can come in, get some of our G999 coins for $149 in US dollars, because that's what people understand, for $149 US, and that gives you about $50 US or more in our G999 coin. But the commission or the rewards is actually in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you're getting not just G999s, but as we are involving more members within our bank system, we are nurturing the G999 and enjoying the value of being in what's everyone, like in the crypto space, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the cryptos are in what looks like it will run for probably the next year or more.
When we first spoke about Bitcoin on this radio program, David, it was about 12 cents. And for those who know, it recently hit $40,000. It wasn't able to hold there. We've had a retracement, but that's what keeps bull markets healthy, are retracements, and sometimes we need a deeper retracement. This may become a deeper retracement. So when you look at the G999 and the price it's at now, okay, it's just getting started. And so how many people wish they had been listening to this radio show back in 2011 and had taken some action and had actually bought some Bitcoin when it was very, very affordable? Now, I'm not saying G999 is the next Bitcoin. I'm not saying G999 is going to go to 40,000. I don't know what it will do, how it will perform. It will base upon how the world adopts it and chooses to use it. But I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of embrace all the possibilities. That's one of my favorite sayings.
Absolutely. And I like having a diverse portfolio. No one should lock into any one particular asset class or whatever they're doing, because you want to have some diversity, just so, not just for protection, but also diversity is always a very valuable way to deal with anything, especially when we're dealing with financial instruments. Don't put everything, all your eggs in one basket, essentially. So we've been able to launch G999 in conjunction with Bitcoin and Ethereum coming along and getting people their first Bitcoin, their first Ethereum, and their first G999 all in one, all in one swoop. So it's pretty fun what we're able to do with it. G999, one of its highlight features is it's the first transparent deflationary coin on the market, meaning we're minting coins through our masternode system. That's a little technical out there, but this is a call where people are trading in that. So we'll there's a little bit of technical involved in it, but we're actually it's rolling out in such a way that we get to kind of put our toe in the water without any risk. And because that's, if we're to go mainstream, we've got to take the fear out of that starting place for people. And the way you alleviate fear is through education and a nominal entry fee, if you will, or a nominal entry membership point, so that no one is put at risk. When people hear Bitcoin and Ethereum or cryptocurrency, they think investment, and that was not their purpose in their creation. That they have become that, and that's because it's growing and developing its space in the market. But the goal has always been the usage of them, and the crypto community has been, how can we use it more effectively? How can we use it more day to day? And the G999 coin is what's called a utility coin, meaning it's meant to get used for regular everyday activities. And we have many products that are going to come through the company is called GS Partners. Many products will come through that will make the coin usable for people. It'll have all kinds of things where people say, oh, that's attractive to me and I want to use it for that purpose. Because money sitting, whether it's gold or money or any asset class, for it just to sit, it does not create the velocity of money. It doesn't create movement. It does not create the energy source when it's just locked away. Jesus actually talked one time when he talked about how much is enough money. He talked about the fellow who was building a bigger barn. The guy says, I've got so much, I don't know what to do with all I've got. I'm going to build a bigger barn. And Jesus said, not a good plan. Not such a good plan. You don't need more. What's enough? How much is enough? And so we're able to say, yeah, there has to be such a thing as how much is enough. Otherwise, you get trapped in living in the world of not enough. And I think a lot of people get in this fear time that we're dealing with an economy that's in rough shape, like not in rough shape, like really rough shape. We need to be able to say, we don't need to be thinking millions. We need to be thinking connection. We need to think about how to share it effectively. And I say this, and I think I said it last week, I'm not a socialist in any way. I have lived, I'm from Canada, so I guess that label could be just by being Canadian. But I've watched money pour into communities and just without any responsibility, if you will, or any path forward for it, and it just actually damages. Too much money flowing with no process for it has created a significant bottleneck for people in their mindset towards money. Easy come, easy go, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But we need a base of understanding our economic world where people aren't in fear. So if we can as we bring them into our system now, we're nurturing, we're bringing along baby G999. So let's call it. Right. I'd like to say it's a super strong, but I'm calling it a baby because it's new, it's brand new. So we have to embrace that newness. But I like having mom and dad, Bitcoin and Ethereum, nurturing our G999. So that's how I'm seeing the value of saying, would I want some of them? Well, when they're coming alongside the big, mom and dad, and being nurtured with that, it's not an either or proposition, it's a both and. And a friend of mine always calls it the brilliant of the amber sign. Constantly, let's not do either or comparison, let's do both and. And we've got an environment that's letting us do a both and in abundance. It's amazing what we're able to do. And so that's what G999 is bringing to us. There's a lot of tech behind it, but it's one where it's easier to learn about it from the inside. So our model is a very simple entry point to come and see, come and learn. It's actually an educational model to take the fear off and gives people a real future of looking at something in a completely different way. And we build our model, our golden journey model is based on making sure everyone is thriving and flourishing at a very simple entry point. So that's where we are with the project itself.
No one left behind. That's one of you guys' catchphrase.
It's absolutely our catchphrase. And I'll just pop up a slide here. When I say no one left behind, what we're looking at actually on this slide, is that showing up okay for you there?
Yeah,
Dwayne?
I can see it good.
Yeah. So on the right side there, we're looking at a 100-year-old great-great-grandmother out of a rural village in Uganda.
Wow.
She is cash flow positive in Bitcoin and Ethereum right now.
Unbelievable. I believe
now.
it, but it is unbelievable because, you know, as we talked last week here on the show, my wife and I, we got involved in a project. We built an orphanage in Kampala, Uganda. We broke ground back in 2000. So we just had our 21st birthday. But we tried so many different economic models there, from taking members of the church and buying bodas for them to try to make, because that's how people get around in Kampala. These little motor scooters. You don't call it taxi. You get the little guy on the scooter. They call them bodas. And so we bought bodas for people, and we've helped people open little stores, because every corner has a little bodega where, you know, the staples, you know, back then there was one grocery store in town, but most folks rarely went there. They went to the little corner bodega, to borrow a term, and they bought the staples that they needed, you know, some flour, some rice, some beans, that kind of thing. So we tried all kind of different models, and some have been successful, some not successful. I won't go into all those details. But to hear you say that this woman, how long has it been since you started working with her?
That would have been back about December, about the 5th, or I could look it up, but it's beginning of December of the end of 2020.
And she never had a bank account before in her life. No. And today, January the 20th, she's cash flow positive in this thing called Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that's right. And so then we, and we know that Jessica will not be learning all the tech behind this. Like, we're not concerned about that. I'm guessing she doesn't even have a computer.
You're absolutely right.
Most of the folks in Uganda, they'll go to what's called the internet store, just like a little corner business that's got 3 or 4 computers in there, and people come and they pay by the hour, you know, a few shillings to sit down and get on the internet. And those are older machines, and the internet speed's not fast, but they can still send emails and check on their account balance, kind of thing. Go ahead.
And that's exactly what's happened. We run into all kinds of tech issues in Uganda, and lots of that were challenges that we've overcome. And we have a number of people, and really a lot of that launched through our Moses, who speaks very articulately with us and has rode around his bike for the last year, collecting names. We were actually working in a bit of a different project, but this has evolved into something I think is even more dynamic than what we're doing. He'd collect names for us and get the right information. Jessica was obviously one of them. That he's a family member with Jessica, and I can't quite remember the how the connection happens there, but it would have been through Moses and various other members, but directly, you know, Moses has been a real key point for us in that. So, but the joy we have in it, Dwayne, is that if it can be done in rural Uganda, small town Uganda, I kind of feel that it can be done anywhere.
It can be done in Glendale, Arizona, or Tempe, or Duluth, or Detroit, or you name it.
And so we have this now working for us. And I used to use the word team a lot as we were building it, and I realized we're not really working from a team model. A team model is fine; it's a good word. We're really working with a model that's more like a village. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes that kind of a mentality we're having, and we're changing our system of the golden journey is about making sure, as you said, we're about leaving no one behind. There we go. I just wanted to show that we do that, and I'm going to just get rid of that for a second, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because we wanted people to have the freedom to grow, but not become, marketing gurus. Like we don't need all of that. A lot of the things that people thought they had to do to gain value within a system was to learn a very narrow band skill set, but only a few could fit into that of marketing and all of that. But in a village model, a village looks for the strengths of every person and enjoys their strength. If you go back to, say, an indigenous culture, I live in British Columbia on the West Coast, just a little bit north of Seattle. And in that, 200 years ago, it was lush, moderate climate, lots of food, really not a lot of hardship going on here in terms of what they needed to do to survive, but even beyond survive to thrive. They got into all kinds of artwork and friendships, and the guy's job for the day was, I got to go out and bring a deer back for the community. He would have never gone out hunting with the idea of bringing back a deer or whatever he was doing for food source back to the community without the idea of sharing that within the community.
Yeah, so
a village
I want
model
people to understand that you can just go out to one of the crypto exchanges and you can buy G999, and that's fine. Or you can approach it differently by participating in a group of people where you can number one, move slowly, where you can get educated, where you can have all of your questions answered, and have a greater potential or probability, if you will, of actually finding some success because of everything that David is saying, because it's a group effort with the idea that no one who wants to be a part of the group will be shunned, expelled, or left behind. I guess if you act a fool, you might get expelled, but their arms are open to everyone, all people, every race, every nation.
We are absolutely a non-discriminator of any, for a class structure or a cultural structure, belief models or whatever. We just see every person as a human being that we can come alongside with and let them flourish. And that I have my favorite way of thinking about all of this is I have a little grandson, Ethan. He's 10 months old now, and he's I actually live in the same house as my son and daughter-in-law. And so I get to see him every day. COVID lockdowns or not doesn't affect us because we're in our safe bubble, if you will. And but I look at Ethan and he just thrives because economically he's well off. His food is provided, his clothes are provided, his playtime is provided. All he has to do for the next 3, 4, 5 years, he's never going to have to worry about money ever in those years, and hopefully never.
Right.
His goal here. So but because he doesn't have to worry about money, guess what he gets to do? He gets to play. He gets to learn and grow and learn to walk. And he's at that walk around the furniture side.
He gets to enjoy life.
He gets to, and somehow we say you grow up from that. Grow up, stop having that kind of freedom to grow and
Right.
develop and dream and experiment and make mistakes, and it's all okay because you're not chasing the almighty dollar.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that amazed me so much the first time I went to Africa. Well, number one, I had been to Mexico, so I thought I understood poverty. Well, I grew up working class poor in a small town in Georgia, so I thought I understood poor. And then as I traveled the world and then went to Mexico in recent years, this was Dwayne 2.0 when we made the trip and started the mission in Mexico. But I was like, okay, now I really have a handle on poverty. Then I went to Africa and it was like, wow, now I truly understand poverty. But the amazing thing, even though these were the most impoverished people perhaps on the planet, or some of the most impoverished, they were also the most joyful, happy, go to church, everybody's dancing. Now, the guy next to me, he might only own one shirt, one long sleeve white shirt. But man, that thing is sparkling. It almost blinds you in the sunlight. It's pressed, and he's on fire, and he's dancing, and he's happy, and he's singing, and he's not faking it till he makes it. It's true joy coming out of that human being. You just want to stand next to a person like that because it's infectious. That will jump off on you the same way depression and other negative emotions will. So I remember standing there, you know, looking at these people, and I'm like, man, doesn't this guy understand that, you know, based on the actuary table, he's probably only going to live to be 45? Now, this is going back a number of years. A lot has changed, but at that time, doesn't he know he's probably going to live to be 45? He doesn't know where his next meal's coming from. The guy lives in a mud hut. Doesn't he understand all these things? And the answer is, yeah, he understood that, but he wasn't going to let that get in the way of him experiencing God, enjoying life. I went there to minister to people, and boy, did I get ministered to. You know, people would say, thank you for coming here and being a blessing to our people. And it's like, no, thank you for letting me come there, because I'm the one who got blessed and took away a blessing and brought it back to America. And it changed who I was as a person, because we attach value to so many things in these third world and in these first world countries. You know, we're all going to worship somebody or something. These people worship God. He is their supply. They know that. They have no doubt that he's going to provide the next meal, you know, today, tomorrow. He's going to take care of them. They believe. Now, we often say that, but we don't really believe it in our heart, in our core being. They do. And now, their hopes, their dreams have an opportunity to manifest into something, I think, larger than even they thought of and dreamed of. And go ahead.
Yeah,
I just love to, for people who've never been there, you should go. And if you ever want to go, I'll hook you up with our group there. We have quarters for visitors on the orphanage campus. You can go, you can stay a few days, you can stay a few weeks, you can stay a month if you want to. Hang out with the kids, get to know the culture, get to know the people, attend the church services. The kids love it when visitors come. And we love it when we get to send a group there, because lives are changed on both sides. Okay, go ahead.
And I think they really modeled this slide I put up. It's something we use all the time called abundance. And abundance often is associated with money or stuff. And I think it's much richer word than that, or at least my definition of it is much richer than that. I think it's how we interact with each other. And when you see somebody without all the stuff, but still joyful, still with gratitude, still able to share, giving, receiving, all of those things, and for them, cooperation is kind of just how you actually need to. You actually need it to survive in some ways, but it's by by love and compassion. All of that's happening there for it. And like we have friends within our team that are in another part of the world, in the Amazon. They don't really want a lot of money. They don't need a lot of money. They need money, and I think we can really support them with this to actually push back some of the corporations that are going in there to turn beautiful trees to money.
Yeah, right.
And just basically raping the land in order to do so at the expense of perhaps one of the healthiest, most vibrant areas of the world that has all kinds of healing things. And the people that we're talking with are saying we need to protect this because we have gifts for the world of healing within the rainforest. They understand all the medicinal elements of it, and they want to bring it forward, but they need to protect it. So they need money not to survive. They need money to protect the precious resources that is out there. And a lot of our resources are like, we're turning water into money. I mean, my goodness, we could get these are rights. These aren't, in my mind, these are water, air, and money. I think should be our normal everyday thing. Just as my grandson Ethan, he never really thinks about money right now. He just thrives because for him, he is wealthy beyond his wildest dreams right now. So he is able to live his wildest dreams, and we get to share that with people. So it's a really core value to say, if we learn how to, as we are learning to cooperate, we're discovering something very special within our model of building our 1022 model. We're not getting into all of that in great detail today because, we don't need to, for one, but really it's just a very simple come with a friend. And within our model, we're able to express that. I'll bring up another pick for you on this one, Dwayne, if I can.
Okay.
And this is actually not the one I wanted. I'm going to bring up a different one.
Now, guys, this
That's
software, the site that he's taking you to, this is actually the GS Partners exchange. And the point-and-click software is so simple to use and to understand compared to those of us who first started getting involved in crypto back like 2016, 2017. By comparison, the things you had to go through to just buy some Bitcoin or to begin to make trades, it was kind of archaic, prehistoric almost. And in just a few years, the software has become something, well, for those of you who grew up with the computer age, you might remember DOS and what it was like trying to get on the internet. And there really wasn't an internet per se. I mean, it was there, but there was no place to go. You could maybe log into university servers, and then along came, Windows, and along came AOL. And for a while, AOL was like the only place to go on the internet. You didn't even realize there was anything beyond AOL. But look how quickly it's developed. Now we're all zooming and using all these other benefits that we find from the internet and from computers. And this software, I'm just stunned by how much it's advanced in just a couple years. Please continue.
So we're able to, what we're looking at here is actually that first is just, these are dots, but I don't see them as dots. I see them as real people, because they are real people, just the way the grid has to show it in that. But at the very beginning here is actually Moses that we highlighted just a few moments ago, and then goes through my daughter and then Tony. But I just want to tell a story here. So it goes through my daughter, Tony, friends of ours who are sponsoring people from Africa. We have a sponsorship model and we have a scholarship model, Dwayne, to make sure that everyone can come in. So if somebody is struggling with finances, now we have a way to make sure they can either get the crypto through us, and if they need, anyway, we have a way of doing it. A scholarship simply means if you brought in a friend, we will cover a 149 package for them and so we supply the crypto, get their package and get them rolling. With that, if they need that, or somebody has the money but they don't have the crypto, we have a way of doing that, because that first coming in sometimes is a bit of a barrier. and we don't have any barriers for coming in. Our only barrier is when is if you will, is somebody saying yes to us.
When you go to this site, you can't spend U.S. dollars. When you decide that you want to come in and you want to participate and you want to buy G999, that has to be done with cryptocurrency. There's no fiat currency at all on this exchange. So you do have to go to another exchange, or maybe David can explain other ways of how you will get your initial Bitcoin or Ethereum. And you know, the transaction fees are really high on Ethereum right now because it's gaining in such rapid popularity. It put in a new all-time historic high, I think yesterday, at $1,400.
Mm-hmm.
And the transaction fees are up a bit, so you probably do want to use Bitcoin, but go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, and so all of that's happening. You know, even the fees don't bother me so much because it is an increasing asset. So, you know, if it costs a little bit to get started in that initial crypto spend, we're also able to kind of alleviate that with just the value of crypto going up and like all the expectations out there. And again, that it's speculation, but I think it's speculation based on good, solid, fundamental understanding of the markets in that, where Bitcoin and Ethereum and the coins are going to continue to increase over this next year. And I mean, estimates are anywhere from another 4 to 5x, even on a Bitcoin, going from 40 to say 200K. Mm-hmm. But that gets, I like the way Max Kaiser said, so a lot of people come into Bitcoin from the greed side, like they see, oh, it's going to pop and they're going to do really well with it. But they stay for the revolution, because once you're in and get used to it, you find out this actually affects our world in a very positive way. Mm-hmm. Very, very positive way. And so we have these storylines. So here down at, where's Anne-Marie? So Anne-Marie is down at what I call L6 in our model. And Moses is back here. So everything that comes through Anne-Marie actually impacts Moses. Okay. And then further in, we'll see where this is actually my wife down here. And then through here is another family with that we're able to support. It's the Bulmer family. I'm not seeing it on the grid because our grid just goes to L9. And then right after that is you, Dwayne. Mm-hmm. So you're there supporting a few people between you and Anne-Marie. Mm-hmm. And then we're able to support you and Anne-Marie with what we're doing, and we'll continue to, you know, we build and you build, and as we bring people in, but we're very, very sensitive about the 2x2 model. And the reason for that, and it's kind of not just a little bit important to it, it's a lot important to us, is that we want people to experience a calm, safe landing without a lot of hype. And we share people into our teams. So like I know how to bring people in. I'm, you know, pretty good at it. Mm-hmm. And I can, you know, be the personal sponsor for a lot of people. But if I'm the personal sponsor, it doesn't flow like this. It becomes one big line as an L1. Okay. And I can't build a great group out of that. I can't build my village if I call, you know, I think of those who are good at bringing people in as, might call them the mighty hunter of the community, if you will. Okay. I don't mean to, you know, I'm not trying to overcook that, but we don't need a community of everyone's a mighty hunter. We need a community where everyone's thriving and benefiting from having a few people that have good skills. And everyone can benefit. And what we see in that chart there is Anne-Marie came in and she supports actually the gal that she would have been sponsored by. Not that the gal knows Anne-Marie at all, but she was sponsored. So we put Anne-Marie there. And that's a family with a Down syndrome child. Lovely family and doing extremely, you know, just loving on them. They're doing well. It's not like they're in financial hardship. But we're able to support that family, plus many, many others, through what we're able to do by sharing people into our village. And we've changed really the whole network model of calming it down, building a strong team of up to 1,022 people, and that's very lucrative, quite frankly. It is enough.
That's where the term 1022, maybe you can speak on that for a second. It's called the 1022 group. It's called the Golden Journey 1022. Talk about the 1022 part.
Sure, and let's have a quick look at one of a nice little chart here. I think that'll help us. This is actually my chart of how I built since you can see from 1st of December till the 20th.
I can't see it yet, Dave.
Oh, I didn't share the, okay, there we go. I got my chart up. There we go.
Got it.
Thank you. And so that's a chart that we actually have in the GS Partners, the black one there. And that chart is showing where I am since December 1 till now. So I have 184 members within my 9 levels, and then way beyond that, because to build 9 levels, you're going to actually go, you're going to have people going beyond the 9 levels, and you want that because you want everyone at your level 7, 8, 9 being strong and doing well. And so I build, so you're always doing that, but we get paid really well through this 9 levels. And beside that chart, you're actually seeing how our commission plan works and what 2 by 2 eventually turns into 1022. So 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 all the way down to 512, you total them up and you get 1,022 people. And literally caps us within the our compensation plan, and you see the percentages there. And you can put, I don't want to show a lot of people ask me, show me the money, not show me the money, and it's always a tension there about whether you show the money or not the money, because I can make any compensation plan dance if I want to.
Sure.
For me, this is about real value of connect people first, put people first. Get them into a strong village where everyone's getting paid. Dwayne, we have broken every standard within the network industry already. We have a team, our overall team.
Because you're focused on the process and not the results.
We're literally focused on creating from a village that starts at 1 up to 1,022. And if everyone gets their village built with them and with us and coming alongside them, we go from starting out brand new 1. One is a lonely number, if you will, and then it doubles and doubles and doubles and doubles, but it doesn't have to double into tens of thousands for us to do financially well. And this model calms it down. It lets us sow into our field, our garden, your team, your village. So like everything that would come through, even on this show that we're speaking with now, people might be interested and say, can I come in? Simple free registration that we have, come around, look around, bring a friend in. That's about it. 1 or 2 friends. People can do way more than that, but then we're placing them deeper into your own village.
And he did say free registration, by the way, just in case anybody missed that. It's a free registration. Without any strings attached or any catches or any gotchas. You come
That's right.
You take a look.
You take a look at it and just see the value there. And like this is a pretty good value that's being shown here on this particular screen, in that of how this can work. And this has already created quite a pretty good chunk of change for myself personally. And but everybody's thriving in it. We have teams. Our total team build. Our total build is about just over 600 people. I'm further down in the grid from our total philosophy. I have 4 core value, 4 people that we started this with, this idea, and many others are joining us and really catching it. But so we have Kathy and Don and Paul and then myself. So I'm like 4th down. I'm an L4 for Kathy. We'll say our total team starts at Kathy with our philosophy that we're working with, and it's over 600 people. But out of 600 people that Kathy has for her village, Don has almost that many. He has about 590 people in his village, and then Paul has 500, and I have 400. We have teams of 10, 20, 30, 50, 100. All over the place within our system already, because we decided that your village, Dwayne, your village is a priority. When you build and when you add to your village, that's your priority to make sure that the people in your village are thriving. and we teach it in such a way that everyone thrives without everyone getting caught up into rah jazz kind of stuff and that, and it just makes sense to stay focused this way. The money is there. The money is there. It's like I say, I can show all kinds of ways that this money flows into. Like if I have 1,022 members making 50K a year in Bitcoin or Ethereum, I think that's pretty cool. And
say that again. Say that again.
My goal over this next year is to have everyone in my 1022, and you're Anne Marie's part of my 1022. You're part of my 1022.
Right.
My goal is for every member, no one left behind, making 50K.
50K. You mentioned that Jessica's cash flow positive now. Can you put that in dollars and cents? I mean, I realize it's early, it's small, but before you answer that, the average annual income in Africa is about $2,000 a year.
Well, let me show you where we are with, just because I have Moses here that I can show. Okay. Oh, hang on, I got to get to my other. Where am I? Yeah, because I was. There we go. Bring that up, and what we're looking at here is.
Oh, there you go.
So there we go. So that's Moses's dashboard. We saw his build happening with Anne Marie and yourself in that build, and so you're supporting Moses and a number of people in Uganda that you didn't know till you came into this, but now they're part of what's going on for you in that. And there are people from Uganda in your team already that we've placed there with who we're working with, and now will just contribute. But we're actually seeing real value here that's happened for Moses. And so can you read that chart for me?
Let's see. The BTC wallet balance is about 58. Now, guys, where it says USDT, that's Tether. It's what they call a stable coin. It's pegged to the US dollar. So anytime you see a price quoted in USDT, just think of it as the US dollar. It's not. It's a crypto, but it is pegged to the dollar. So I see $58, I think, or $55 in the Bitcoin wallet. And in the Ethereum wallet, I see, is it 361? 363 US dollars? And is that cumulative since he came in?
That's cumulative since he came in. So it's based on rewards or commissions, but it's also based on the value of Bitcoin and Ethereum going in as well. Because when we were buying our $149 package at the beginning of December, we were paying about 0.27 Ethereum. I remember that number. Okay. And now we're paying about 1.12 Ethereum, about half price, if you will. So I kind of like that.
So just the fact that he's sitting with a $55 Bitcoin balance and a $363 Ethereum balance. As the value of Ethereum increases, as long as that continues to sit in his wallet, it will grow. Now, if you put money in a U.S. savings account, you might get 1% a year, if you know the banker and the secret handshake. And this is real money. If he needed to, he could withdraw that money from his wallet, and he could go down to the corner bodega and buy flour and rice and beans. Hopefully he won't need to right away. Hopefully he'll be able to sit and let it grow, because imagine if some of these forecasts for Bitcoin and Ethereum come to pass. I mean, let's face it, at 12 cents, nobody thought Bitcoin would ever see 40 grand. Nobody ever thought Ethereum would see $1,400. And so many, not wingnuts, but respected businessmen and economists and government officials have got some pretty extravagant forecasts out there for where Bitcoin ultimately goes, where Ethereum ultimately goes. And Ethereum is actually moving up at a faster pace right now than Bitcoin. So go ahead, Dave.
Absolutely. We were buying Bitcoin and Ethereum back in the spring of this year. And Bitcoin's run maybe since that time about 5x. And Ethereum's running about 7 or 8x from that same time frame. And that so it's Ethereum's got a lot of room for growth. It's kind of like if you're comparing the spread between gold and silver, and we know silver has a huge amount to catch up on. Similar kind of thing. Ethereum has a lot of room to, keep moving forward. It just passed, like as you said, it passed its all-time high yesterday. Bitcoin passed its all-time high, back at 20K, in mid-December or so, in that range. And so Ethereum just got there. Well, that means it's going to continue to, just kind of try to catch up to Bitcoin, not to catch up to the 40 grand number, but just the increase in its value all the time. So that's why I say we're nurturing this G999 in a very, very rich environment already of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's not, again, we're not either or on any of this that we're doing. We're buying our packages, putting our G999, letting it kind of grow on its own, and at the same time getting the benefit of being in this rich environment of being in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so we're free now. I'm working directly, like with Jessica, we just got her information, put her in, but I work directly with other grandmothers and grandfathers, 80-year-olds, 75-year-olds. We have a lot of grandparents actually in our system. It's kind of intriguing to me how many grandmas we have showing up, and grandpas, literally in that age group, 70, 75, 80, 85-year-olds. We have a number of 83, 87-year-old grandmothers, and my mother being one of them, already cash flow positive within our system. And that in an environment that says, where's the border with that? There is no border. It's anywhere in the world this works. It's all happening right now. Like
is there a branch in my town, is there a store I can go to or an office I can go to? No, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
We're not hindered by the brick and mortar bank system that we're using.
There's no central server to get turned off. There's no one person with the power to throw the switch and say, this is over. You can't persecute or prosecute an algorithm. And as we all know, in the traditional financial world, a well-balanced portfolio has a certain percentage of exposure to stocks, and some to bonds, some to precious metals, and to whatever else your financial analyst or your financial guy recommends to your licensed investment professional. They're going to help you balance your portfolio. That's just good smarts. Well, with crypto is an accepted asset class now. So part of that allocation should be to the crypto space, but then inside of the crypto portion, like with precious metals, you got gold, you got silver. But inside of the crypto space, you want to be diversified in that space. In that, I believe you should have some Bitcoin, you should have some Ethereum, you should have some G999. And there's so many up and coming coins that have a real world use case. Things like ADA and XRP and XLM. The list goes on.
That's exactly right. So and now we get to have people who would have been intrigued but fearful of the crypto market. People who are just in fear, and it's very hard to break through somebody who is just inundated with fear that can't almost move. But if we can come alongside our friend or our, one or two friends, bring them in very simply, very gently, and show them, just come in and kind of rest with us, if you will. And then when you're ready, you can bring a friend or two in. We've had people already, Dwayne, that have come in who have never enrolled anybody in their life, who are enrolling 4, 5, 6 people, because they came in gently. They got the wind in their sails. They caught it at a really simple level of, hey, it's a crypto bank with education on blockchain and understanding Bitcoin at a very good entry point. Entry points are everything within launching something, and we have a terrific entry point where you're getting true value of a $149 package, both in coins. What you're seeing on what you saw there in Moses' account was he has his $149 package that gave him $70, almost $70 USD in his G999 coin. So that's, plus he got the Academy, and there's a lot of other perks that go with that little package. So it was a package with real value built into it. And then we have a larger package. As people grow and get their commissions within us, they can get into a bigger package, a $999 package, which even has more value. But that comes as you get that when you understand it and understand its value. Why would you buy something before you understand its value?
And there's no,
it doesn't make any
the
sense.
beautiful thing, it's no fear, no hype, no pressure model. That's why I really love that.
It's such a simple invitation, and we share money, but our best thing is that we share our friends and people into our village. We actually create a much healthier village because we're creating a village that is 1,022 made up of maybe 30, 40 different groups and cultures that are built into the 1022, maybe even more than that. Because when we're sewing into our village, we're creating a lot of diversity of people in our village, then has more conversation points, more talking points with various people. Eventually, we're going to be able to support like your beautiful orphanages that you've been working with and the other enterprises that you're involved in. This is going to, when I empower Jessica, she probably doesn't need a lot of money. What's she going to do with it? It's going to go into her family. It may go into resources within her community that she has her heart set on.
Generational wealth. Anybody who's ever been involved in network marketing, or as it used to be called, multi-level marketing. They cleaned up the name for a while. If you ever had to try to convince somebody to come to an Amway meeting, or even a Tupperware or an Avon meeting, or the vitamin company Herbalife, you always felt a little bit of guilt. It always made you feel uncomfortable inviting somebody to come to the meeting, even though that's what you were told to do, and you had to kind of pressure them, and you could never answer the question when you would say, hey, I want you to come over to my house Thursday night at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to share with you a great business opportunity. And the people go, well, okay, what's it about? Well, just come to the meeting and you'll see. Well, okay, I'm willing to come, but tell me what, you were like, you weren't allowed to tell them what it was about, because then they might not come. This is so not like that. This is something that you can be very excited about, and you can tell them, hey, it's an opportunity, come look, don't look. It's not going to cost you anything to look, to get involved, to actually, just, it's a different world. It really is. It's literally the best thing I've ever done in my life. Not everybody needs soap. Not everybody needs vitamins. But everybody needs money.
And we need money that's real money rather than debt-based
fiat currency.
Money that's inflated. The U.S. dollar, 1920 to 2020, it's about 95% loss in value from its purchasing power. People think prices are going up. No, the money is just going down in value.
Right.
That's really why prices go up.
Worth less and less and less every time the Fed kicks up the printing press. And every time the Fed kicks up the printing press and prints that money, it increases the debt of this country. And your taxes ultimately have to go up to service that debt.
And we need something new. We need technology came along. I was a tool and die maker for the first decade of my working career, throughout my 20s before I went off to Bible college.
Screen, David.
Okay, and sorry, we got that.
There we go.
And so I was a tool and die maker and throughout my 20s and that, and I saw technology, at a fast clip back in the this is back in the 80s, wiping out job after job after job. So the corporations were building a car from 150 hours down to, I don't know what it is now, maybe 16 or 18 hours to build a car. Well, that was an incredible amount of job losses. What it meant, so technology replaced people, but it did not create, it actually created people working for money and other people not working at all. And so we have not utilized our technologies well. We need a new model of saying, let's use technology that's human and is actually enhancing our lives rather than displacing our people from their jobs and giving them no recourse other than struggling along, as we're seeing in much of our economies right now. Doesn't make sense for the way we're doing it. So we need fresh eyes on this, and I think a lot of the hardships, a lot of the angst that's out there right now are really angst about, whether it's, we know all the political kerfuffles that's going on, around the world, and we know in the U.S. in particular, as you were open the show with prayer for the U.S. and that. But let's face it, a lot of this is about economics. I would say most of it. If you calm down the economic and people aren't fearful of their economic livelihood, a lot of that is going to change drastically for people. So as crypto goes mainstream this year, and I believe we are at the forefront of bringing something now to mums and pops and grandmas and grandpas and young millennials. It fits everybody. It's interesting, it's intriguing, it's fascinating, it's new, it's scary for some, but intriguing enough to say, if I put my toe in the water, am I going to be okay? And in our place, yeah, you're very okay. You get to learn with us, you get to grow with us, and take it at whatever pace you want, and then finding a place of freedom. 9 months to a year from now, as people are growing in this, it takes about 9 months to a year to grow a really, really strong team, a strong village. And then from then on, you're not actually trying to grow the village. You're trying to say, hey, how can we work together to do good now for our family, for our friends, within our communities? And we know Uganda, major issues on fresh, clean water for people.
Yes.
We can be drilling wells for them. But we're not doing it. We're not coming in as the white savior doing. We're empowering people in their local setting, whether it's in Peru, Chile, Costa Rica, Uganda, Nigeria, South Africa, anywhere, inner city USA. We're giving people the money, or showing people a way of acquiring real money.
Yes.
So that they are empowered to choose how they want to live their life.
For the hundreds of years that Americans and Europeans have been writing checks and pouring money into Africa, has it helped the people for a day? Yes. But in the bigger picture, has it actually imprisoned them? It has. It's almost been more harm than help, because they have not, through all of our assistance and all the money poured in, they've not learned to be self-sufficient. And when a man can, at the end of the week, know that he is capable of providing for his family, for putting a roof over their head, for putting food on the table, that changes the man. That takes that man from a place of scarcity and fear to where he can actually be, the priest of his home. He can lead his family. He can raise them without a scarcity mentality. And then that begins to unfold from generation to generation, just as the current scarcity mindset. That's the result of the Great Depression. And how many here still have a grandmother or maybe a great-grandmother who, scrimps and saves and acts as though she's still living in the Depression, even though she has access to money. Her kids, her grandkids have money, and she doesn't have to be quite so frugal anymore. She could actually enjoy life, but that mindset it's ingrained. And so we're about changing not only what's happening today, but what life will be like for these people tomorrow, next year, next generation. Mm-hmm. And that's huge.
It is. I think we've been given a miracle in real time, and it's up to it's when Jesus healed blind Bartimaeus. Mm-hmm. He created another model, another economic model for him, because up till then you'd been a beggar.
Right.
Once he could see, he could go out and create a livelihood for himself. He created a new economy for himself, and his begging days were over. He had to rethink even who he was and how he provided for himself and a few around mm-hmm. him.
Let's tell folks.
That's what we're bringing. We're bringing healing to people who see things differently.
I'm sorry. Let's tell folks how they can begin the journey. I know there's a Saturday call every Saturday morning, which everyone's invited to join. There's Kathy and Paul. They keep that Zoom room open practically around the clock, I think. So I don't know, maybe you have a slide or something you want to put up that shows they can send an email to goldenjourney1022 gmail.com. Put CFRN in the subject line.
Yeah, I don't have the slide. I should have had the slide, Andy. Sorry, doing.
Okay, that's all right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll put that up on the screen. And guys, I will also post, if you're listening via YouTube, either live or after the fact, in the description down below the video, by the time you watch it on YouTube, if you're not watching it live, and I'll get it in there right as soon as it renders. There's an email address. You can send an email to goldenjourney1022. That's goldenjourney1022 at gmail.com. Put CFRN in the subject line. And then in the email, just include your name, your telephone number, so that Kathy or Paul or Don or someone can be in touch with you. They'll send you a link so that you can join them in the Zoom room, and then they'll answer all your questions, help you get going, and of course then you'll be invited to our weekly Saturday morning call. And I have a copy of last Saturday's video, which I've already posted, but I know those things get pushed down or pushed up, so I'll repost this past Saturday's video along with today's video. Anything else you want to add, David?
No, I think that's great for today. I mean, it's an ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ongoing conversation for us to continue to bring to people. I know within your group, people are very focused on their trading. Now we get to say, hey, continue with that growth, and also look on the side here where you're able to come up with another way of not just you personally doing something, but you can bring your spouse in, you bring your family in. As we do, we bring in our family members and creating legacy money throughout our family, throughout our friendship base.
Once you set this in motion, it becomes a passive income stream.
And that's so that's why I say take a year, take 9 months, if you will, like a year of university. You're going to make money in that process. You're going to get a great education. You're going to have a new change of view, and at the end of that, you're kind of able just to enjoy the fruit of your labor at that point. Just encouraging people, getting to know people within your village if you so choose. You don't have to, but many contact points will come through this. The best thing I enjoy about this particular business is the number of new friends I've made. I mean, without me doing this business, Dwayne, I don't know if we'd have ever met.
Probably not. Probably not.
Just that's how it happens. But when you're doing something actively, you actually start meeting people in all kinds of unique and special ways, and friendships grow through this thing. I've pastored for about a decade, and this is probably the most enjoyable way of me connecting with people. I enjoyed my pastoring years. It was like I had a lot of really great friendships that developed during that time. But this is actually even bigger for me, of both caring for people, helping people, getting through the rough patches. I counseled for a long number of years as well. And a lot of the issues would have been settled if people, marriages were breaking up for the sake of $500 a month. Mm-hmm. These are the things that I want to alleviate. The frustrations I had with counseling people, and I got $500 a month, and they're just killing each other right now, or just at each other's throats. And it was just over a few bucks.
70% of marriages do break up because of financial issues. That's true. Money doesn't buy you happiness. However, let me say it again, 70% of marriages, the root cause of that marriage breaking up has to do with finances.
So I think we'll finish it up today. This is an ongoing conversation I think we're having. Well,
David, I look forward to next Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. And again, folks, I'm going to put in the description box the information that you need to start your journey. It starts with an email, and then somebody will be in touch with you. Thanks, David.
Okay, great chatting with you today.
God bless you, brother.
Take care. All right, bye now.
Okay, so let me bring my screen back up. There we go. Okay. All right. Again, thanks to David. Really appreciate that. Now, let's pop back to the daily chart of the S&P. Okay, we have a new all-time historic high. While we were talking, the S&P made a move up too. 38.47 and a quarter. The previous all-time historic high before today was 38.24 half. The all-time historic closing high was 38.22. Looks like we're going to close well above that today. Okay, and now, just as we did earlier in the show, we're going to adjust our Fib retracements to encompass the new all-time historic high. That puts the 24% Fibonacci retracement, that's the shallowest Fibonacci retracement, at 36.98. The daily BBC, where we expect support, just like we had a couple sessions ago. Okay, this was the all-time historic high. From the all-time historic high, we came back to the BBC. We expect the pullback to hold. It holds more often than it doesn't. We've been above the BBC since November 4th, and we're well above it. When the market finds its top, it'll come home, it will retrace, it will most likely find support at the BBC. If the BBC does not hold a support, guess what? We're headed down to this 24% Fibonacci retracement, which also happens to line up with the 38% Fibonacci price extension, which we know acted as good resistance for 1, 2, 3 sessions, then 4 sessions, then 5, 6. What was once resistance becomes support. So on the next retracement, we look for initial support at the BBC. Even if it doesn't hold, it will give us a good bounce. And after that bounce, if we're going for a deeper retracement, the shallowest place, 36.98, based on the current high, this market may not be done climbing. Now we've covered the S&P on the smaller time frame, which the alerts are based on. The alert this morning at 38.22 to be long has taken us to a swing high of 38.47. That's 25 S&P points at $50 per point. Now I talked to you about the exit signal. Okay, you see how the step line, it's on the left side of blue and climbing. And then all of a sudden, well, these are 30-minute candles, so nothing's that sudden. The step line's now on the right side of blue and climbing. Price is starting to walk sideways. See this candle here, we had a sideways walk, but the step line never crossed. So then we had 3 more up candles. Price starts to walk sideways. The step line has already crossed. So this current candle that we're on right now, this red candle, there's 12 minutes left in the life of this 30-minute candle. If this candle closes below that step line, now we've already dipped below it, but it's the closing price that's important. If this 30-minute candle closes below the step line, that will, whatever price it closes at, that's the market telling you this move is run out of steam, take profit. So 25 points at $50 a point. Now, this is your trading business. You can take profit anywhere you want. Initial target, second target, third target. On an extended move like this, you can wait for the exit signal. It's your business. You get to make that decision. The only 2 markets we didn't cover on the recap was gold and silver. And we know gold had a nice move today. So let me bring up the Concierge Trade Alerts again. There we go. If you didn't get a chance to take a screenshot of these earlier, drag them back up so you can do so if you'd like. So gold, the long CTA was 18.47. $18.47 is right here. So from 18.47, we put in an exit signal right there at 1854.1. That's $700 per contract traded. The CTA puts you in, the exit signal took you out, if you stayed in to the exit signal. Then price got back below the trigger, found support at the weekly trading zone, 1835, sent us back up through the trigger, and from 1847, we put in a high at 70, so that's $2,300 per contract traded. You see how price started to walk sideways again? Right here. See how the step line crossed over? If this candle closes red below the step line, now, you see, this candle closed red below the step line, but the step line had not fully crossed over. That's an important part of it. Step line crosses over, then look for the red candle. So if this candle were to reverse, close below the step line, that's the market saying, this move has run out of steam, better take your profit. Now, the exit signal cannot get you out at the swing high or swing low because no one knows it's a swing high or swing low until after the fact. It does do a pretty good job of getting you out in the neighborhood. Okay, the last market we're going to look at is silver. If you're trading futures, the large contract, a $1 move in the price of silver is worth $5,000. Last night's Concierge Trade Alert for silver was to be long 25.34. 34. There we go. 25.34. So if the price of silver went up $1 from 25.34 to 26.34, that would be worth $5,000 if you're trading the large contract. A 2-penny move is worth $100. So from 25.34, this first move up took us to 53. So that's 20 cents. It's $500 per contract traded. And then price pulled back to the BVC, where it holds more often than it doesn't. Give us another leg to the upside. And we got back below the trigger. And from the trigger at 34, we ran up to, oh, there's 84. It's 50 cents, $2,500 per contract traded. If you've earned the right to trade 2 contracts, it's $5 grand. Okay? Remember, everything that you've heard me say and do today, everything that we teach, all of our tools, all of our training is fluid across all markets, all time frames. So if you only trade the NQ, or you only trade gold, or you only trade crude, or you only trade the S&P, what we have can work for you. Now, to take a 1-week free trial in our live training room, no credit card required, you go to this address, Emini Trading School.com. No credit card required. Don't need to know your mother's maiden name. If you go there, fill out the little form, hit submit, you get a confirmation email. You need to click the link in the confirmation email. Valerie will send you out a bunch of information. It's going to give you access to our live training room every day for 2 hours for the next 5 trading days. 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 5 trading days. You'll also be able to use our charts, our proprietary indicators. You'll have access to all of the logic and CTA alerts. When you take our trial, we treat you just like a member. The only difference is you don't get to come to the members only workshop on Thursday night. Everything else is the same. Okay? Emini trainingschool.com. Now, if you've already taken your free trial, and if you know this is exactly right for you, then you can go here, eminifuturestrading.com. Just click the PayPal link. You'll become a member. Valerie will be notified, and she will begin to put together your welcome package with all the information you need, all the links for the Telegram channels, for the room every morning, to get your platform up and running, to get your indicators indicating. And of course, once you become a member, you have access to unlimited one-on-one mentoring. 9 out of 10 new traders fail. Why? Because they have no teacher. They have no education. We all know if we want to become a doctor, we're going to have to go to school, for quite a number of years, and then pass a test to become a doctor. If you want to be a pilot, you're going to have to go to school and pass a test. Engineer, even a plumber, right? If you're going to be a union plumber, you've got to get the education, and then you got to pass a test before you hang out your shingle. One of the reasons, probably the primary reason, that so many traders fail is because there are none of those requirements. You don't have to go to school. You don't need a lot of money. If you've got, $3,000, you can go fund an account. And if you got $20 left over, you can buy yourself some business cards that say trader. And now you have a license to lose all your money. And people repeat that process over and over and over. If you don't get an education with us, please get one somewhere. Now, there's 2 ways to learn. You can learn by watching videos and reading a PDF and practicing or stumbling or whatever you call it. Or you can learn in an environment where you have a live instructor who answers your... Have you ever tried asking a video a question? It doesn't talk back. So we have a dynamic learning environment where the teacher's teaching and trading right in front of you, putting on, taking off trades, and you can ask. We want you to ask every question that crosses your mind. And then we provide you with living, breathing alerts, opportunities in the market so that you can, around the clock, practice everything you learned in the room. With the goal being that pretty soon you're able to spot these opportunities in the market without any help from anybody. You become self-sufficient. Now, the recap this week of Logic 247, we've issued since Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, when the Globex market opens, 29 alerts, 5 never triggered, 24 actionable. 3 have been stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible, using market structure and a very simple 3-step methodology that I teach all of our traders. Now, I want to show you one last thing. Let me open up Notepad. I'm going to put this in the description in YouTube. So if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, just look down in the description and you'll find this. Shoot an email to goldenjourney1022@gmail.com. Put CFRN in the subject line. Include your name and phone number. And Kathy or Paul or Don or maybe even David will respond and help you through the process. They'll invite you into the Zoom room. And in the Zoom room, they'll answer all your questions. And then you'll become part of the group and you'll get invited to our Saturday morning calls that we have every Saturday. And I've already posted last Saturday's call. I've posted that video, but I'll post it again, so or I'll at least put the link in it in the descriptions on YouTube under today's show. All right. With all that said, we're way past our 2-hour time, so let us go to our good word for the day. We started yesterday talking about temptation. If you missed yesterday's show, you can find it at YouTube. We archive each daily show. We stream live on YouTube, and then we archive it. We've got over 1,600 daily shows archived there. We've been producing a daily show since 2005. All right. Today's scripture, 1 Corinthians 10:13. With the temptation, let me just give you the whole thing. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. God's plan for turning temptation into triumph is not to endure the temptation, but to escape the temptation. Now that calls for two things. Number one, don't get into a tempting situation. You know, if you're trying to quit smoking crack, right? Don't go to the crack house to watch this Sunday's ball game. Oh, well, I'm not going to smoke any. That's where my friends are, so I'm just going to hang out with them and watch the game. Trust me, you go to the barbershop enough times, you are going to get a haircut. So you don't want to put yourself in those kinds of situations. Too many people are like the little boy sitting under the farmer's apple tree. When the farmer asked him, "Son, you trying to steal my apples?" He replied, "No, sir, I'm not trying to." His problem was being under the apple tree in the first place. Martin Luther said, "You can't keep the birds from flying over your head, but you can keep them from building nests in your hair. You can't keep pornography off the internet, but you can avoid it by not watching it, by obeying God's word, which says, Psalm 101, I will set nothing wicked before my eyes." So yes, it's on the internet, but you have free will. You get to make a conscious decision. Will I watch this today or not? Hint, or not is the proper answer. Number two, if you get into a tempting situation, get out of it quickly. The Bible never says that we are to fight temptation. It says we are to flee from it. Paul tells Timothy in 2 Timothy 2, flee also youthful lusts. He warns the Corinthians in 1 Corinthians 6:18 to flee sexual immorality. Potiphar's wife repeatedly tried to seduce Joseph. This is from Genesis 39. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice and said, "Come to bed with me." But Joseph fled. Unfortunately, he left his coat behind. God does not provide a way of escape before the temptation or after the temptation. God provides a way of escape with the temptation. So friend, are you being tempted today? Whether it's alcohol or apple pie, pray and God will strengthen you. 2 Peter 2:9. The Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of temptations. And that's our good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.